This is not the way to start.
No, the show starting.
Okay. So here's the thing. Yes, I am Pitbull Politics live, but my husband, as you may have noticed, also enjoys. We don't always get along, but pretty much we do. But he also enjoys doing some things. So I'm going to be working on trying to help Bruce get into podcasting from his own venue, so that he has his own voice besides chiming in with mine and things, which is perfect. But you wanted to talk about something that really has chapped your fanny.
I do believe it. You would be on base with this too.
I am too, but I will admit that it is ugly, and you've got your teeth into it. So what are we talking about today, sweetheart?
Well, property taxes again. It's going to be something that North Dakota, we voted on it and it went down pretty good. But then again, we had all the turds in the media.
Over half their budget, over $1.5 million, came from out of state interests for a Keep It Local campaign.
That's just
makes me
wonderful,
happy.
and all the I mean, all the big wigs or the people that in the media that think they're super or against it because why? Because they do get a lots of money from this from property taxes, and the thing is so more importantly, so do their buddies, and that's what we call crony
They
capitalism.
made a ton of money from Keep It Local in the ads. So what side do you think they were going to fall on?
Well, it wouldn't matter. They're always going to fight, be on the side of their buddies. But I mean, that's what I have to say. For the first thing, okay, we got to look at it this way. I don't want property taxes. That's the first thing that we have to try to get rid of. But it failed. Okay, so now, and it might always fail. So what are we going to do? We have to at least make it palatable. Something that you can sit there and say, this doesn't suck so bad.
Okay, so before we even had the vote, there were over 40 some bills coming forward. And of course, now that it failed, and in the words of the legislature, it failed epically.
Yes.
These fixes are losing their teeth even as we speak. Yeah, everyone knows we have to do something to pacify the people, but they want to do the least amount possible.
Yes, and that's exactly what they're going to try to do, and they're going to get it done. So we have to sit there as a people. You have to get out there and say, hey, we got to do something about this. We got to sit there and say something that's good for us, something that is logical for us, because the property tax is not a great thing. Obviously, if you want to have the best tax there is what we call a consumption tax, a sophisticated people, but I mean, for the lay, it's sales tax. And I'm just being a smartass there. But yes, consumption tax, sales tax is what we want. And that would be fair for everybody. But that's in a world where we don't have a bunch of crony capitalist jerks getting together and deciding how they're going to run it for us. Okay, getting into some of the things, the major things. We're not going to worry about little trivial things here. We're going to get into the major parts of what should be done and what's logical. All right, property taxes, 2 to 3% max per year. Okay,
valuation or total increase? Are you including mills in that?
No, there's no such things as mills anymore.
Okay,
we got to sit there and say, hey, it's something that people are going, well, 8 mills, that sounds pretty good.
It isn't.
It is, it's like going,
it's
no.
Ridiculous.
It's everybody, and because lots of people don't know what mills are. That's fine. Okay. Why should you? Well, yeah, it's a bunch of crap stuff that just makes it easier for them to get away with things.
Let me point out this. I'm going to interrupt you for a sec. Let me point out they did try to get rid of the mills, and the legislature refused to.
Yes,
because they want to keep it confusing. I apologize, I interrupted. But they want to keep it confusing.
Yep, that's it. And so everything has to be percentage. Okay, that's the first thing. Drop mills. Talk to the people and stuff that's easier to understand. Not that people aren't stupid, but they don't want. Why should they have to learn stuff? Like, heck, that's the problem with it. Okay, 2 to 3%. That's all it should be. That's about the
That's
increase.
inflation rate.
Yes, it's staying close to inflation, right? I could live with that. All right. Okay. Increase. If property taxes in any subdivision needs to be uh
Well, they need a new
they
school.
need a new school or expensive roads and stuff like that. Something different. All right. If you do that, everything has to be approved by a supermajority. What is a supermajority? Nowadays it's 60%. That's a bunch of crap. A supermajority used to be 60 or 6.666% or 2/3 plus one. That's what we have to do with called a supermajority. Get back to it. Why should we have a supermajority? Hey, why? It's a simple reason why we should. You that want this tax or increases, you are forcing your neighbor to agree with you. Because I mean, if there's 50-50, that means, I mean, you're telling your neighbor how to spend his money. Very, very irritating for me. I just think it's not a great thing.
You have to show that the majority of the people, the true majority of the people, want to pay for this.
Yes, exactly. And that's one thing. And we have to, as well, some people are going to be upset about this, but it needs to be an honest bidding. We don't need the same people to build schools everywhere throughout the state. How is that happening? I don't know.
I do.
I know you. We could go on and on about it, but
It isn't good.
no, it isn't. And like I say, there are many, many reasons why these schools are costing us tons more money than they should be.
Deferred maintenance.
Well, and also here's something that's very insulting if you know it, because they're talking about the quality of the product in schools in North Dakota and throughout the country is not that good. And but we're paying prime price for
The
it.
product would be the students. Make sure they
Oh no
understand
no
it.
no no no! Oh no no! We're gonna get there. I'm talking the product of the school itself, the stuff that they are using.
Okay,
They do not
all right.
use the best. They charge you for the best doors and the best this and the best concrete and all this stuff. But no, if you look at it, it's not the best stuff. You're just paying for it.
$25 hammers and $100 toilet seats like the Pentagon.
I'm
Is that what you're
referring.
referring to?
I'm referring to charging Williston people $795 per square foot. That's what I'm talking about, and not quality stuff. Neither they tell you it's quality. No, that's one thing we have to do. Get into knowing that we have to have people that know what's happening there.
We can handle a lot of that by actually having an honest bidding process.
Well, that's what I said
where
too.
it's actually written out what you're purchasing. It's not just $9 million versus $10 million versus $16 million. You're actually seeing, and then somebody has to write her to make sure those are the materials being used.
Yes, and I still thinking I mean, this is something that isn't necessarily an automatic for me, but I would like to have everything done, all schools paid for within 15 years. They have to have a 15-year.
We did it.
Well, that's the thing. You save so much money. If you look at buying a house for 30 years, it's going to cost you so much more than it did if you paid. Yes, you could almost twice as much. So think about that. 15 years is the most you're going to be paying for your school. Pay a little bit more, get it done with.
Can I say something too about that?
Yes.
Okay, so if you are doing something like that and it involves a special tax or something and it has a sunset, can we actually see one sunset?
That doesn't have something else.
We love to see. Well, you're already paying for it, so we're gonna just spend it over here. No. It goes away, and you have to start the process over again.
Yep.
How about that?
That would be unique. And another thing we have to make sure we don't do, because property tax values are going to be less in this, but they cannot be raised. Your property values cannot be raised, or the cost should not cannot be raised, right?
Well, why should it matter? Because it's arbitrary.
because you fixed up your house.
Right. Here's the thing. They demand people keep their property nice. Then they punish them when they do.
Yes.
And everybody says, "Oh, but you're going to see all this valuation when you sell the house." Well, if you don't sell the house till you're dead, who cares? I'm just saying you're paying for unrealized gains,
Exactly.
which is, or should be, apparently it's not, against the law.
And like I say, we're right now in a situation where if I fix up my house, I do all the pounding, all the nails, I do everything, I pay for everything. Why the hell should I have to pay more to the government because of that? I did not have. We did this. Our taxes in our house, property taxes skyrocketed, and you know what? Not one teacher was there to help us. Not one superintendent, administrator. Not I didn't see a policeman. I didn't see a city councilman. The mayor didn't come and help us. Why the hell are we paying more then? Nobody helped us.
Can I mention something
Yeah.
interesting too? You and I built the addition to our house, foundation and everything else. We went out on the internet, we researched. You were a concrete guy, carpenter, and we did everything ourselves. But they assessed our value as if we had a contractor come in and do it.
Even if we did have a contractor come in
know.
and do it, it doesn't matter.
But
Because we paid for it.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is we got nailed twice.
Yes, we did. We had to do the work. Plus, we have to pay more.
But I'm just saying.
It's interesting. But no, that's got to stop too. That stuff. And here is one that kind of is going to bite a few people in the ass. And this one is all property owners shall pay their fair share of property taxes. Yeah, that means you pieces of, well, okay.
The
People
legislators.
like legislators, Doug
Kilgore Group.
Burgum, Armstrong, you guys don't get no more TIFs. You don't get no more pilots. You don't get any more of this crap.
Oh, well, we won't get any investment if we don't offer tips and pilots.
Well, I tell you what, if you really think that that's so dang important, I tell you what, you get your tips and your pilots from the legacy fund, from the school trust fund. Hell, right now we have between 35 and $40 trillion in those funds, and they're not going anywhere, but they will be stolen pretty soon if we don't start spending them. Guaranteed. So that's where you get all, if you need to get these people to come there. And besides that, if they don't want to come to North Dakota, then we don't want them. I don't want somebody that I have to pay to come here to sit there and build their bass nest. Yeah, write that down, Dougie. All right? You guys got to stop that stuff. You're not, well, I guess you think you're special, and I guess the legislatures think you're special too. But it's something that's the way I see it. What else would you say? I mean, I these are basically my things that we have to do to even get a basics of starting.
I understand that, but what we need to do is the odds on our getting a legislation put forward that we like is slim. However, what you can do is you can take some points from this broadcast, from others out there, from your own personal research, and you can start contacting legislators. It doesn't even have to be just yours. Start blanketing them with things you want to see occur, such as 2 to 3% increase in property taxes per year max. Period. End of sentence. Done. Why do we have to jump through the hoop every year to get this $500?
No, that's ridiculous.
Filled out the paperwork. It's ridiculous. Why? Why are they taking money and then we have to trust them to give it back? No. That's BS. These are points that need to be going forward. Start taking control of your life. Start piloting your own ship. Start calling your legislators and telling them, I want to see real property tax relief. I want to see some bills with point A, point B, point C, point D. Email them so you have a record. And then Keep responding to them saying, have you read my email? If they respond to you, respond back. Keep all of that in a separate folder and hang on to it. You may need it.
And one thing we have to be is more knowledgeable too. All right. Who were the hardest ones to persuade to vote for the property taxes?
The people that benefited from it the most.
Well,
The school districts, the people that are
the
state
teachers.
employees,
Yes.
health and human services people. Oh, gee whiz! Why would I, as a sane individual, vote to have my paycheck reduced?
And one other group that really supports this all the time is making a big mistake on it is the renters. They think that, well, I don't have to pay property taxes. Okay, me and Kit have been in realty or
25 years?
25 years of rentals.
You pay property taxes, people.
What's the first thing we do? We have to figure out what the property taxes is going to be, what the insurance is going to be. That's the first two things that you pay for. And of course you pay for our mortgage too. It's just the way it is. And then guess what? We are going to try to make a little money too. Yeah, we're greedy maybe, but what the hell.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I want to retire.
Property taxes, renters, guaranteed. Every one of you pays for that. So don't sit there and think, oh, that's not important to me. Yeah, it is.
If you think you're using the park district, the transit system, and all of those other goodies in the city free because you rent, think again. All we do is pass it on. And when you complain about the fact that, well, I don't want Walmart not having to pay property tax, they don't pay property tax. You do. Because they factor in the exact same stuff that we do. And it goes into the price of their product. Walmart, Target, all the people, even the small business guys, factor all of this in, and it's incorporated into every penny that you pay, from a soda pop and a candy bar all the way up to a refrigerator and a car. It's all factored in. Nobody pays property taxes but the consumer, and the person that owns the property passes it on.
And the only ones that are getting away with not paying property taxes are your super rich guys that are buddies of legislatures. They're the ones that don't get it. Doug Burgum, Armstrong, what's his name?
Kelly.
Oh, I thought it was Lance. Okay.
No, Kelly.
But, like I say, those guys get those pilots. They get the TIFs. That's got to stop. I mean, you got to be thinking, what
Them
the
and
hell
their
is really
friends.
happening?
Their friends.
Yes. Yeah, well, the crony
And they
capitalist
always
funds.
go, oh, well, they'll start paying soon. How come soon never seems to get here?
No, because it's the first one's an automatic 5 years, and then they just add on to it, and it just keeps adding on to it. I mean, oh well, let's go another 5 years. They're doing so much for us. Yeah, that's.
I feel blessed.
Well, this is how I'm going to have my podcast. I'm going to sit there and get them as short as we can, tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, but it will be the truth too. Here we didn't make any bull crap up. We're not telling you how lucky you are that we are saying this, but it is the truth. And that's the way I'm going to always talk about, and my wife is obviously the most articulate between us, and I do not have this great way of communicating, but I'm going to still try and work on it. All right, Kitty?
Yeah, baby.
End it. That's enough.
Please. This is really important. Your legislators are working on this right now. It's very, very important that you contact them. If you don't want to use any of our suggestions, at least sit down and write up 5 solid ones of your own. Use an email. Keep everything that you send. Hold their feet to the fire. They said if we didn't pass this, they'd fix it. Let's make sure.
Oh, they're going to fix it.
Let's make sure they do, because we may not have another chance to come back after this. God bless.
Dig it, guys.